Good evening. Good evening and greetings from the Alpha Sigma Lambda chapter as well as Iota Kappa chapters of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity. My name is Darwin Shaw, and I serve as the Director of Educational Activities with the Alpha Sigma Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha. Tonight, we are streaming on both Facebook Live and Dallas Alphas TV from YouTube. Please share this program by clicking the share button or sharing a link to the YouTube page for your family and friends. If you have questions regarding the information that's presented tonight, please enter it in the chat and we will address that at an appropriate time in the programming. Tonight's program is Let's Talk College, Applying and Succeeding. Tonight's program is part of Alpha Phi Alpha's national program, Go to High School, Go to College. And to provide some insight and some background in the fraternity's national program, Go to High School, Go to College, we have a brother, Jair Genwright, who is a senior majoring in STEM at Paul Quinn College, where he also serves as the president of the Iota Kappa chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha. Jair, I turn it over to you.
Good evening. The Go to High School, Go to College program, established in 1922, concentrates on the importance of completing secondary and collegiate education as a road in advancement. Statistics prove the value of this extra step in making the difference. I hear an echo. I'm not sure where that was coming from. Is that? I think you should mute yourself, Brother Shaw. I'm sorry. Thank you. Extra step in making the difference in the success of young African American men. Given that school completion is the single best predictor of future economic success. Through the Go to High School, Go to College educational initiative, young men receive information and learn strategies that facilitate success. Alpha men provide young participants with excellent role models to emulate. You still muted, Brother Shaw, sorry.
I'm going to get this muting right before the night is over. Also in our virtual studio, we have Brother Seth Campbell, who is a senior from Texas A&M University of Commerce, who is a brother of the Zeta Tau chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha. In addition to being a student, Brother Campbell is also serves as the Assistant District Secretary to the Texas Council of Alpha Chapters, and his major is he's a senior musical education major. Thank you, Brother Campbell, for joining us tonight. Now let's talk college. Our presenter is Dr. Relius Johnson, who currently serves as the Assistant Director of Multicultural Affairs at UT Arlington. He's a proud alumnus of Texas A&M University of Commerce, where he entered the Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity through the Zeta Tau chapter. He holds master's degrees from both the University of Central Arkansas as well as Louisiana State University. Recently, he defended his dissertation at Louisiana State University, where his research centered on the racial climate and the impact of the Black Lives Movement on college campuses. Prior to joining University of Texas at Arlington, he worked at both the University of Central Arkansas and at LSU. Dr. Johnson's personal motto, to use your past to influence a better future. He seeks to both challenge and support people he interacts with, as well as he challenges them to be the best them that they can be, and this includes himself. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Dr. Relius Johnson.
Thank you, Brother Shaw, for that. So glad to be back. And so, Brother Jackson, I am ready to share my screen. And so, let's talk college. In this, we're going to talk a little bit about selection of colleges, as well as just college life and succeeding at college. The main part we're going to discuss is we have two brothers who are going to actually give their experiences. So throughout this, if you have any questions, any comments or concerns, please go ahead and type those so we can address your questions at the end. Because it's one thing to hear from a campus administrator, it's another thing to hear from brothers who are currently on the yard. So about me. Again, you've heard my bio, but some things about, I had a great undergrad experience. I was able to go on my first plane overseas to Spain and Portugal. I was homecoming king, NPHC president. I was initiating to my fraternity, student government, campus activities board. I was an RA, leadership, you name it, I was in it and did it. But also I graduated. And so in this, we're going to talk a lot about just some successes as well as finding yourself as well as succeeding in college. So again, I know 2 weeks ago I came and talked a little bit about college applications and things. And so I really want to hit back again on the timeline for things. I know some of y'all are getting ready to apply for school next year. Some of y'all may already be. And so again, I just want you to know September to October is really the time to really start getting those college applications in, requesting those transcripts, those letter recommendations, as well as most schools have an early decision or early action day, which is normally November 1st. That also can defer per school, as well as other applications like honors college and some leadership things and other opportunities might be before or after. But again, you have to be accepted before you can even apply to those opportunities. October 1st, make sure you complete that FAFSA. Again, it's free. Make sure you're going to the studentaid.gov website. If you go to FAFSA, there's some websites that are scams, as well as you should never have to pay someone to do a FAFSA because they walk you through those steps. And then I know it says January through April, apply for scholarships, but scholarships can really start as early as September as well. And then by May 1st, I tell people that's really the decision day, last day to put a deposit on schools and things. And so you really want to just do that. Again, some college application websites. I know many of you all are thinking about college for next year and some other things. So each school is going to possibly have their own application process. So be looking out for that. Also, a lot of schools give you free waivers, which are called fee waivers, to help alleviate the cost. If you can't afford a college application, I encourage students to reach out to their institution and say, I'm really interested. I can't afford your application. And many times the school will work with you to give you one of those fee waivers. Then Common Apps. Common Apps is a majority of schools are on Common App. It's just a general application that gets submitted to a lot of institutions at the same time. It also can help reduce the cost, as well as Common Black College application. Again, these aren't all the application websites. There's a lot, but these are the 3 most common that I use with my high school students when I'm working with them to get them in college. Institution, again, Common App, and then Common Black College application. As well as the climate of the institution is going to depend on what type of institution you're going to. Is it public? If it's a private, historically white institution, HBCU, minority serving institution. All these institutions have different things. And so one of the things I tell people, and we have in the power of our hand, Google. So you can really do a virtual tour on most campuses. You can watch YouTube videos. You can really try to get to know what the campus environment is before you even get there. Even Instagram, I tell people, just don't follow or look at the university Instagram. I have my students all the time. Go look at BSA, look at NAACP, look at some of the Greek fraternity sororities and other orgs, see what they're saying, what they're posting, what their activities are. Because again, college is about developing a holistic experience. And I think many times we want to say just academics, but I'm challenging everyone to get that holistic experience. And then if possible, do an in-person tour. Go do an in-person orientation. Go do an in-person event, just so you can feel, does this campus make you feel like home? I tell people college is your life away from home. And so you want to feel like you belong there as well as you matter. And so when you're doing those tours, you want to meet with as many offices as you can, including financial aid, admissions, your registrar, even if you can meet with someone in your major. So I even encourage people to go Greek life, student org, student activities. If you can find some time to do all of that and then just walk around on campus without someone giving you a tour. Because of course, tours are going to give you all the great highlights of things. And so sometimes you just want to get lost on campus and just see how things are going. Again, I'm gonna be talking really fast because we have two amazing brothers on the StreamYard, and they're going to give you some more information and really talk about college life. So if you do have any questions, please feel free to type them in the chat. And then these are some of the things when I talk about finding the right fit. We have types of colleges. So you have a 2-year or a 4-year. Those are more your junior colleges, your public institutions, universities. So Tarrant County College is considered a 2-year versus the University of Texas at Arlington, which is a 4-year. Public or private, you have examples of a public school is, again, TCU, which is a private institution. Then a public school would be Texas Tech. So you have those different varieties. You also have HBCUs, historically Black colleges, universities, into historically white institutions. Size does matter. I tell people I went into an institution originally and they had over 50,000 people. And then I went to another institution that had about 18,000 and found my right fit. I've attended all types of institutions size-wise, but size does matter. Location. What are you looking for? I went to Commerce and I joke, but I tell people Commerce has a Walmart and it has a lot of other things now. But that what I was looking for location-wise, Commerce was 45 minutes away from Dallas. Also, I could get home easily. It had X, Y, and Z. There are some students who I know they want to live in a college city. Some want to live in a city in a college, by a college, X, Y, and Z. Campus setting, what are you trying to do? If you want to go Greek, does that school have Greek life? If you want to do study abroad, what does the study abroad look like? Cost, majors, learning environment. This is something I stress a lot. So are you okay being taught by your professors? Or depending on what institution, you might have a teaching assistant, which is a TA, or a graduate assistant, or a graduate research assistant, which is a GRA, that teaches the class. And you might see your professor once every 4 or 5 weeks, and a TA is teaching the other classes. Academic services, what is offered to better help you? That tutoring, that programs such as TRIO, McNair Scholars, that student assistant who's getting paid to come to your class and take notes and learn how your teacher is teaching, then do tutoring themselves. Is it free tutoring? Is it not? The retention and graduation rates of the program you're interested in, your employment rates, career services. Again, once you graduate, the goal is to get a job. And so what does the career services look like? How are they helping? Student debt, safety, internships, study abroad. So internships and study abroad, I am big on getting those experimental education opportunities because that's preparing you for life after college, as well as letting you know, is this a field that you really want to do? Is this something you really want? Maybe you might want to try something else, as well as student advising and campus life. And there's a lot that goes into campus life, and we'll briefly touch a little bit about some of those. And so we've talked again about college, but I want to go a little bit more detail about college admissions terminology. And so what you'll see is, because I know I had some people ask me after my last session about college admissions, you have regular decisions and rolling admissions, and those are when colleges evaluate applications as they're received. And so schools will continue to evaluate applications till all slots are filled for their incoming class. So if they want to take 8,232 people, once they hit that number, they stop this regular decision rolling admissions. Early action, that's really early deadlines, early applying. You get a result usually by Christmas if you've been accepted or not, which leads to your early decision, which is a binding agreement that you say you'll come to the institution. There's also things called admitted, deferred, and denied. And so you can be admitted into an institution. Deferred means So if you're admitted into an institution, that means you're good. They might need some additional documentation for other things such as financial aid and stuff, but you're able to be a student at the institution. If you get deferred, that means a college might request additional information to help them understand. So there might be additional letters of recommendation, essays, or other things. And denied means you weren't originally let into the school, as well as there's deferred and denied. You can appeal those decisions. When it comes to deferred or denied, again, there's processes and normally deadlines. So after you get your admittance letter or denied or deferred, there's usually next steps to say if you would like to continue forward, this is what you need to do for deferred or appeal. Denied, this is what you have to do if you would like to appeal this decision. Boom, 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 boom. So just make sure you're looking through those applications as well as understanding what they want and what they need. One of my things I tell people all the time is if they tell you what they want and you don't give it, you've made an easier decision on them. And so make sure you're following the directions of what they need and what they want. Again, these are some components of a college application. So again, we're hitting both the so applying to college and once you're in college. But no, you're responsible for submitting all of these items to your college. That can be college applications, essay, personal statements, your transcripts, standardized test scores, letters of recommendation, even list of accomplishments and list of extracurricular activities if it's asked for, especially if you are in the deferred statement. Again, a university can put you on deferred until they get a transcript of all this information. So make sure that this is being done and you're doing it as soon as you can. Because again, when it comes to financial aid and other things, all of this impacts other processes. When you're doing your college essay, one of the things I tell people is tell me who you are. Let me be able to read your essay and understand who you are. Be open. I know a lot of times, I'm not going to generalize, a lot of times when I'm working with students, especially my students who identify as Black, they don't want to give a lot of information. They don't want to be descriptive. They're like, well, my mom or my dad, my grandma, my aunts told me not to put all this stuff. I need to know who you are in order to judge your essay. And just putting basic information, everyone is going to put the basic information. Help yourself stand out. Also, follow the rules. It is one of the easiest things for me as a teacher. I tell people, if you don't follow my directions, I prefer not having to grade all the time. So I tell people, you do me an easy job by not following directions and guidelines, because then I can just give you a 0. Make sure you're following the rules. Make sure you're following the guidelines of length, minimums and maximums, the prompts. If they actually tell us a time you have to overcome a difficult situation, and then you're telling us something totally different, you're not following that. Seek input. Ask a friend, parent, teacher, someone to revise it and look through it. Then proofread. Pay close attention to your grammar, connect all typos, and double check. There's a website called Grammarly.com. And I tell all my students, before you submit something to me, make sure you run it through Grammarly. Grammarly is going to give you all these different types of corrections that will help strengthen your paper or strengthen your wording, and it's free. There is a paid version of Grammarly that I would encourage that's a lot better and does a lot more grammatical things, but the basic Grammarly also works. And then do not waste time writing about something that's already in other parts of your application or lying, because sometimes we do check things and follow up on things. And so one of the things I hate is you put something in when we're doing a reference check and they're like, oh no, that didn't happen. I have no idea what you're talking about. So be mindful of that. And so let's talk college life. And so for me, college is a holistic experience. I am not going to lie to you. I was the person, I did not study after 11:30. My thing was, if I didn't get it by that time, if it wasn't done, it just wasn't meant to be done. I was not the all-nighter student. I was the holistic. I attended probably every party after my freshman year, but I also went to every basketball game, football game, anything, you name it, I was there. I was super involved. Again, I was SGA, homecoming king, NPHC president, this and that. I went to Spain. I went to Portugal. I went to New Orleans for a service learning trip. I also was a math, so I was coaching track and teaching math. So I did a lot of different opportunities and had a lot of things because I wanted a holistic experience. And so that holistic experience is what's going to set you up for success, as well as after college. It's one thing to have a 4.0, but when they start asking you certain questions, it's going to be, well, tell us about a time you had to collaborate with, or tell us about boom, 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 boom. I'm able to pick up on those experiences that I had, as well as talk from a different perspective that a lot of people don't have because they only went to class. And so, again, it's important to be well rounded in order to get the most out of college. You need to have experiences that go beyond the classroom. Again, it's one thing to have an impressive GPA and a degree, but it's another to be engaged in extracurricular activities, sports, and participate in campus organizations. I have a mentor who says he'll rather take a student who had a 3.3 and had all these extracurricular experiences and can communicate with others and work with teams than a 4.0 who can't do anything besides do the work. And then don't limit yourself. College is the one time I tell people challenge, do everything and anything that you can. You've never been hiking? Go hiking. Go study abroad. Go to tutoring. Go to the library. Y'all, I never went to the library really until my junior year of college. I had to go a lot previously for some other things, but my junior year was the first time I actually sat down in the library to actually study and do like math work. And I tell people that became one of my best places to study. But make sure you're doing everything. You're going to those office hours, you're talking to your teachers. And so, again, there's all these experiences that you have, experiences which include academic involvement. What are you doing? Are you a part of a math organization, a math honor society, fraternity and sorority Greek life, which is you have Panhellenic, which is historically white sororities. You have ISC, historically white fraternities. Then you have MPAC, which are historically black fraternities and sororities. Then MGC, which is your multicultural Greek societies and orgs. Leadership. What are you doing leadership-wise? Yes, it's good to be involved in things, but have you elevated to other positions? Study abroad and experimental education. What are you doing that applies your classroom knowledge to life after? Academic honor societies. Are you involved with student orgs and departmental orgs? Are you participating in sports, intramural sports, doing things? Are you having a social life? Again, a lot of parents hate when I say this, but I encourage you to have a social life. Live some. And then academic support. So if you're going to have a social life, you also have to have the academic support. So what are you doing to ensure that you make all those A's and B's in class? Because you also do come to college to graduate. So that's the thing we want to do. Because the reality of college is that's the best 4 to 6 years of your life you're probably going to have, as well as be in an opportunity and space all at once. And so you want to make sure you're getting the best experiences, as well as you're setting yourself up for success academically, personally, professionally, and holistic. And so, parents, again, yes, there's more than just going to class. There's more than just studying. Yes, there is more. And you want that opportunities for your students to be more involved than just going to class and that's it. Again, this is my contact information. And so feel free to reach out to me. I'm going to stop sharing my screen because we again have two young men who are doing the things on the college campuses. And so I want us to get to them and ask them some questions.
Before we get to that, I can definitely attest to the social aspect of college and how important it is. I feel like aside from education, I feel like the social aspect is something that is more long lasting than anything and can get you into more spaces than anything else. Not saying that the education isn't imperative because it definitely is, but being socially strong is definitely a strong talent to have, an important talent to have.
Yeah, and I'm gonna just feed off of you a little bit. I definitely agree with what you said. Like having a social presence on campus I want to say is essential because most of the a lot of people say that, you go to college, make good grades and get your degree, but college is also a place of connection. It's important that you put yourself in the right position, in the right place to form those connections with influential people that can be of assistance to you. I can if I can use an example to one of my what I'm doing on my campus. I actually have an advisor. As you know, I'm part of the campus activities board, and I'm an exec. And with that being said, my advisor for that, before I was promoted to my position, I connected with him, and he actually recommended me to run for that executive position for CAB. And I can truly say that if I didn't have if I didn't have that person, if I didn't connect with him, um, it wouldn't have been likely that I would have been favored that position, if that makes sense.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all. I know we have a few questions that popped up. And so the first question is, what made you decide to go to the college you attended?
I'll go first. So as you know, I go to Texas A&M University Commerce, and if you do a little history, Commerce is known for pushing out teachers. So with that being said, I'm a music educational major, and by the time I graduate, I'm going to become a teacher. So it just kind of aligned that I went ahead and went to Texas A&M University Commerce.
For me, as you know, I attended Paul Quinn College, which is the only HBCU in Dallas. I knew I wanted to get an HBCU experience, and after a tour, I went on an in-person tour, and after seeing the school and seeing how life was on campus, I knew it was a match for me.
And Jair, if I may add, you're going to Paul Quinn brought you from across the country. So was that a concern of yours coming from New Jersey to Dallas?
Um, Definitely not. I actually was moving around my entire life for the most part. I haven't. I think it was sixth grade was the last time I was at. I was in the same place for more than a year, so I'm definitely used to moving around and jumping around. So it definitely wasn't an issue.
Thank you.
And so our next question that we have,
What are you involved in? What are you involved in college? What are some of the activities you're involved in, both of you?
Oh, I can go first. Yeah, for sure. So as I stated before, I'm part of the campus activities board. I'm also part of the African American Male Mentorship Program, where I have a position as a philanthropist in that as well. And of course, Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. I highly, as Dr. Johnson said, I highly recommend pursuing maybe fraternity life or maybe joining any other organization, just to put yourself into a different atmosphere, a different space. So that's pretty much what I'm involved in.
Yeah, I definitely can attest to that. Joining organizations definitely help solidify your role on campus and get your name around campus. Me personally, before COVID, I was a part of the food committee. My freshman year, I was a part of SGA. I was freshman class president. Um, of course, Alpha Phi Fraternity Incorporated. I was also on the basketball team freshman year. I was a captain on the team. And COVID, for my school in specific, COVID really hit us hard. And actually, this semester is our first semester being fully on campus since. So we're looking to get the ball back rolling.
so I want to ask a follow-up. So I hear all the time, I talk to parents all the time about Greek life. And I know we have another question, but before we get to that one, I tell people I am 27 years old, and the amount of success is due to Alpha in particular in my life. My PhD, everything else, my connections. So give me those experiences of Greek life that have bettered you, in particular through Alpha, as some parents might be on the fence of, oh, when my son and daughter comes, they better not do anything Greek life. I'm telling them no, X, Y, and Z. So can you talk about some of the perks and benefits of just becoming Greek, as well as after you're Greek, that lifelong commitment and connections that you have?
Yeah. Wow. That's a great question. So with that being said, I'm gonna just use my experience and my brothers. So with me joining this fraternity, I gained brothers, and my brothers have been there through whatever little things I may have troubling throughout my life. So having someone, a group of individuals I can trust, a group of people, significant people in my life that I've gained because of Alpha, um, is in the long run has bettered me, especially my mental. If I have anything, any ideas, any aspirations, I just want to bounce off of someone I can trust. I have those brothers that I can always go to.
For me, it's also going to be the brotherhood aspect of it. For me, for someone like me who isn't that sociable, who, like I said, although it's important, may have issues trusting people, maybe have issues with just getting out there. It definitely gave me brothers that I can depend on, that I can trust, that I know when I'm around them, we're working towards success, and I'm protected in a sense. My back is watched at all times, and through that, I've been able to make connections with brothers on different campuses, um, all over the country for the most part, and also make connections with brothers all over the country.
And yeah, if I can just feed into that one more, just a little bit more. I mean, joining this organization, I mean, we've gained higher social, economic, and intellectual status. There's nothing more you can honestly really want or really hope for. All you need, pretty much, as far as me, I'm gonna just say for myself, you know, Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, I by the way.
So what are some misconceptions about college that you all have heard?
What was your biggest surprise when you got to college? What were you most surprised by?
So, surprised for me, it was pretty much the faculty. I was looking forward to the faculty just being honest about everything and not really letting us be young and be kids, but they were definitely open to just letting college students be college students within certain guidelines and restrictions, of course. But it was definitely them teaching us to be free and then learn how to be active and do what needs to be done with that freedom.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. There's a lot of people see college. There's a misconception about it that it's just a place to party. It's just a place to be reckless. But with that being said, it's far from that. It's important to surround yourself amongst the right people, the right students who have their priorities aligned. And if both of y'all have your priorities aligned, iron sharpen iron, and you can definitely see yourself through to a degree.
And I know some of the misconceptions, like even when I was going to college, or even now with students, it's that adjustment.
Oh,
I think also they're not ready for that adjustment of life, where one
yeah,
of the misconceptions is You succeeded in high school, and so you just gonna succeed in college. You gotta put some work into it. I'm also gonna say this as I teach a 9 a.m. class, and they tried to get me to do it at 8. Last semester I did teach at 8 a.m. High school 8 a.m.s and college 8 a.m.s are two different things. Y'all might think it's the same. I see y'all smiling, but a college 8 a.m. course is different. I don't know what it is. And then some schools, LSU, I actually had a 7:30 class. Again, anything before 9 o'clock, it's just something different. Even if you are a morning person, I get up every morning when I was in college by 5:30. It was still something about them 7:30, 8 a.m. math classes because I was a math major in undergrad. It's just something about them. Do y'all agree or y'all think something different?
100%. 100%.
Yeah, that's
And it's like what you were saying, like when you come, you can just honestly coast through high school, but when you get to college, I mean, it's the pressure is on. It's all the responsibility is up to you. You don't have those teachers to push you. You don't have those, your friend group, you don't have them to push you either. Everything is up to you. It's up to your self-discipline. And that's another thing what college is for, to learn yourself, to build your self-discipline, to honestly set your priorities straight.
And so that's why it's even more important to be involved so you can create that network of support. And so is college different from what your parents and teachers told you it would be?
Campbell, we'll let you start.
Yeah. So like I'm gonna be honest, like my mom, she was telling me like college you're gonna be on your own, you're gonna do this and that. But I ain't gonna say everything she said was right, but most of it is right. The thing that wasn't right, I can say, was the up late hours. Oh no. 11 o'clock, I'm not I'm not I'm not doing none of that, to be honest. That's why I get up in the morning, I get my work done throughout the day. And once 11 o'clock or some late hours hit, I'm knocked out. I'm gone. I'm asleep.
For the Gen Right, would you like to chime in?
me. What I was told was pretty much spot on. It'll be the different various groups of people. It'll be the different orgs, and it'll be fun. It'll be a whole lot of pressure filled situations to where you had to execute. For me personally, I'm definitely a night owl. I probably sleep a lot less.
Okay. Now, both of you young men have navigated well. You're both seniors now. Looking back, what now that you're seniors, what is it that you would like your freshman self to have known? Coming in as a freshman, what is it that you've learned that you're like, you know what? I wish I knew this when I was a freshman.
Uh, to my freshman self, I'll probably just say I wish I knew how reliable tutoring can be, like how significant and important going to tutoring is, as well as applying for different programs like Trio, that gives you books, can help you in any type of aid you may need, as far as like getting books, printing copies for syllabuses or homeworks. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Brother Jen Wright, is there something you wish that freshman Jair would have known? think we may have a bad connection or delayed connection with you, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, well, if there are any
For
questions,
me, I
please
would
enter
tell
them in the
my
chat.
freshman self, stay on top of people. Don't just say something. Hear me? Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, you're great.
Okay. I would tell my freshman self to stay on top of people. You can't just tell somebody to do something and then not double, triple check because other people have lives too. That's something I didn't really understand freshman year. And I would get mad at others, but I would definitely tell myself to just stay on top of people and be consistent with checking up on whatever task you asked of them.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Thank you.
And I think we have one more question. What advice do you have for college life? And this can be anything: academic, personal, professional, holistic. And I would say all four of us, including Brother Shaw, because you've been in college, you've also put some people through college. And so, Brother Jenwright, Brother Shaw, I'm going to start with one of you.
Brother Jenwright, if you'd like to start, or
My main advice is and always is to get your name out there and be social. But because we went over that, I'll try to give you guys another one. Another piece of advice is to push yourself. Every day shouldn't be a race against peers. Shouldn't be a race against what you see online. It shouldn't be a race against whatever the norm is. As long as every day you're doing better than you were yesterday, you'll be fine. And college will do you justice.
all right, Brother Campbell.
Yeah, my advice is to take time out for yourself. It's easy to get caught up in your schoolwork. It's easy to get caught up in the parties, the friendships, the groups, everything. Take time for yourself and make sure you pay attention to your mental health.
That's serious. Mental health is a big part of it.
Yeah.
Advice I would give in having children and having young adults in college, do what you have to do so you can then do what you want to do. And I know that's from the great debaters, but, take care, prioritize, do what you have to do so you can do what you want to do. Because there's a lot of stuff in the holistic approach. College is more than just hitting the books. That is necessary. That is essential. That is why you're there. But there are also other reasons to be there, and there are other elements and aspects of it, and to fully enjoy, to learn both academically and socially, and to grow academically and to grow socially. What's important is finding balance, finding yourself, finding what works for you, finding balance, setting goals, and working to achieve those goals.
Perfect. And some advice that I have for college life, again, as you've all heard, just enjoy it, but get that holistic experience. Again, yes, the books do matter. Yes, we want you to graduate, but do that study abroad. Like, college was the best thing to challenge me who I am, and it made me who I am today. Going to study abroad, doing this, doing that. And so if you can, find other things you're interested in and enjoy it. And then my last thing is find the local Alpha chapter on your school, and they'll make sure you get connected and come to some of their events and things as well. But I appreciate you all for joining tonight. I've really enjoyed it. I'm going to turn it back to Brother Shaw.
Thank you, Brother Johnson, Dr. Johnson. I knew you when you were just Brother Johnson, and now you're Dr. Johnson. And thank you for bringing your program to Alpha Sigma Lambda and providing it to the community. Thank you, Brother Campbell, Brother Jenwright, for participating and bringing your knowledge, your expertise. You're in the trenches. You are where we want young people to go, and we want them to see that college is not only getting into college is one thing, successfully navigating college is a different story, and graduating college. And it can be done. It's done. It's done by people that look like you. It's done by people that don't look like us. It is done, and it is important that we learn how to navigate and to navigate it successfully. Brother Johnson, Dr. Johnson, I thank you again for coming on here and talking college. We talked money a couple of weeks ago, and now we talked college and applying and how to be successful. Again, this program will be stored on Dallas Alphas TV YouTube for future viewing. And if you would like to send a link to nephews, nieces, cousins, showing it at youth groups, it's there. It's on the YouTube. It's on YouTube. Again, follow Dallas Alphas on Instagram, Facebook, also Twitter. There's lots of useful information. And again, thank you for joining us and tuning in. And thank you for the brothers on the panel this evening. With that said, good night, and thank you for joining us. Can't say thank you enough.